Lord. It's really loud here, so I'm hoping that no one can hear me speak English. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about my time here at St. Anne. Today is the second or third last day, and I still have 2 days of exams left. Today's just the retest for the placement exam, so I'm not too worried about that. Kind of wanted to talk about my time here and reflect a little bit about how I felt in the beginning of the program and how I feel right now. So, for those who don't know, French immersion at St. Anne is a 5 week long French immersion experience. And for the first half of the day, I learn French. I learn grammar. I learn conversation because I'm in débutant 1, which is the most beginner level. And we just talk, basically. We learn to talk in French, which is kind of my goal because when I'm learning a new language, writing and reading is not really a priority for me. I think communicating with other people is, because I can write and read in English and I can translate other languages to English, but I can't translate oral conversation. So my goal is to just learn to speak French, which is perfect because I love my professor. She's great. I love her energy. But the funny thing is that at the beginning of the 5 weeks, I actually was really stressed and I did not want to be here. I think like the second day of class, I sent a message to my prof and was like, "Can we talk?" I'm so stressed. Not stressed, I think I used the word overwhelmed because that was actually what I was feeling. And so 10 minutes or 15 minutes before class, I visited my professor and we talked for a bit, and I basically just said that everything was so new. Because Nova Scotia is really different from Toronto. I grew up in a suburban area, so it wasn't really city, but Nova Scotia, especially at St. Anne, is small. It's very, very small. Everybody knows everybody else who lives here. There isn't too much to do. This program is great. There are a bunch of activities, but in the beginning, because I wasn't used to all the activities and I was going to every single activity, it was just very, very, very overwhelming. And so I was talking to my prof and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed and I don't know if I want to be here." Because at the time, the first 2 or 3 days, 5 weeks is a long time. And I was feeling really bad for 2 or 3 days and really stressed because we had to sign this contract where we could not speak any other language other than French. And I knew like zero French. I knew how to say bonjour and comment ça va and puis-je aller aux toilettes. And that was all I remember from grade school. It was so hard to live in a new place and not know anyone and not have the ability to make friends or get to know people. I'm so glad I reached out to talk to my prof that meeting because she told me that I basically said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to be here." And she was like, "No, you do." It wasn't tough love, but it was a bit like she knew that I was going to change my mind, and she was right. And I'm sure there are a bunch of other people that are exactly like me who value community but find it really tough to build one when you can't communicate. And yeah, here I am, basically 5 weeks later, and I really don't want to leave. I mean, I don't want to leave because I really enjoy the freedom that you have in a small town. You don't have that many responsibilities, to be honest, especially as a student in an immersion program where all the food is cooked for you, get your own room. All you have to do really is wash your clothes and go to class, and then you get to choose to do everything else. Everyone's really nice, which makes sense because I feel like the demographic of people who would want to go on a 5 week away immersion program, are a group of people that are open minded and welcoming and really, really nice, which are basically almost everyone that I've met here, they're all really positive. I like to think that I'm a positive person too, but I kind of get self-conscious that I'm not as positive as everybody else because everybody here is very, very positive, and I love that. The energy is immaculate. Yesterday, one of my friends left early because she had convocation. She was graduating university, and I cried. I don't think the thought of actually leaving this place has fully hit me yet, but it does hit me a bit when I think about people leaving, and I think about how we're 2 days away. Like, tomorrow is literally the last day, and I think we can speak English tomorrow. It's just kind of overwhelming, which is ironic. I was so overwhelmed in the beginning, and now I'm overwhelmed at the end because we're all leaving. I feel like I'm not fully awake yet to process my thoughts, and I'm really cold because the wind is really cold. The other day, we were watching the sun. Oh my gosh, the sunset is beautiful here because I don't know if you can tell because there's so much fog today, but I am watching the water on a rock beach. There is no sand here, which is kind of devastating, but I guess it's good because it disencourages students to go into the water because it's all rocks. Where I feel like if it was sand, more students would go in the water and there would be more incidents. We were watching the sunset, and my friend was kind of asking me like, oh, are you excited to leave? Or are you sad to leave? What are you gonna do after you leave? And I was like, I don't want to leave, and I don't know what I want to do for my future. Oh, I think the question was if you would want to come back the next year, which is a really good question. I think a lot of people ask the same question because we're all wondering if we'll see each other the next year or not. I would love to come back. My dilemma is that there are a lot of immersion locations. Right now, I'm in Nova Scotia, but there's also one in New Brunswick. There's also one in Alberta and Saskatchewan and BC. And I have not visited those, I was gonna say continents, they're not continents, those provinces yet, and I would love to be able to because this is a really good way to travel. When I read on Reddit, St. Anne is the best place to be for immersion if you want the full immersion experience. I don't know if I want the full immersion experience because I think a part of it is also that the people here are really, really good, and I like that it forces me to speak French because I did improve a lot in the past 5 weeks with my conversation in French skills. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I would want to continue with immersion. I don't know where. I would want to do immersion for the rest of my life because it really exposes you to new people and new events in your life. And one of the things that I am really scared of is my life becoming stagnant. Because the more that I experience different things and experience new experiences, the more that I understand that my viewpoint of the world is so small. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of a crisis for me to think that I will not experience every single thing that this world has to offer. And I would really want to experience every single thing this world has to offer because, again, my life is so small. If I think about the life events in my future, for example, I have to finish school, then I'm getting a job, and at my job, I don't know, maybe I'll only have 3 vacation weeks, which is not a lot. 52 weeks in a year, and you only get 3 weeks of freedom. I mean, I guess you get the weekends too, but you can't really travel too much in 2 days. I see all the advantages of being a student because when I'm a student, there is so much flexibility. It is expensive for tuition, but it is not expensive for new experiences, if that makes sense. Because right now I'm taking a different course, and we're going to Peru in August. It is only not only $3,000, but it's around $3,000. But it is my only chance to go to Peru because I think if I didn't go with my school, I would not be going in my life because I'm scared of traveling by myself, especially as a woman. The funny thing is, this world has so many coincidences, like synchronicities. My prof right now, she is going to Peru after this immersion program, and I want to be like her. Like, she is honestly such an inspiration. She is so positive. She has such a positive and beautiful view of life. And I just love that she always tries. She's so funny. She's so real. And she's just here for a good time. And I love that. I'm getting kind of emotional because I'm tearing up a bit. Also, my new friends, like, we have picnics that I love a lot. I love that we have picnics. We just sit on the grass and I sleep, and my friends play solitaire or they read or they do the homework. I was talking to my friends. I was like, everybody, whenever you meet someone new and you're forced, quote unquote, forced to be friends because you're all in the same area and there isn't that many people, everyone says that, oh, we'll text after we leave. But I think from my experiences with meeting so many new people and so many new like experiences, it is really hard to keep in touch with people that you don't live close by, you don't really have a reason to talk to. Like the only reason why, I don't want to say the only reason, but the biggest reason why we're friends right now is because there are only like 150 students here, and there are only maybe 30 or 20 students that speak French at my level. It is so tough to become friends and have conversations with people that speak a lot of French because they kind of end up just not talking and I don't really understand what they're talking about. In that group of 30 people, I'm only friends with about 5 or 6, and I really only hang out with 2 a lot of the time. And I know that after this program, we're not going to have a reason to talk. So I think the 3 of us are going to continue learning French, but I don't really see myself reaching out and being like, oh my gosh, I learned this new verb. That is not really exciting. And we all have very different lives. Like, I live in a big city in Toronto, and the other 2 live in a really small city or town where they literally know every single person there. And it baffles my mind because one of my friends was describing it as when she enters a bar, she will know every single person at that bar. And she says that it's very rare to see someone that she does not know. Also, because all of my friends are just much older than me, I don't know why I gravitate to the older group of people, but I just do. I think because I get overwhelmed really easily, and girls that are older seem to be more stable and calm. Yeah, we're just like not the same age. The only thing we have in common is French, and we're not in the same area. And I'm not saying that I won't reach out because I would love to stay in touch, but I just kind of know that after the next 3 days, we will probably not talk. Which is kind of sad because I was thinking that all good experiences end, and this is kind of a pattern that I see. And I think because for me, I value so much community, and I value new experiences, and I value talking to new people that have different lives as me. But I am only really in those situations when I am in a program. For example, in my class with Peru, there are very few people, so I'm able to get to know a lot of people personally. By a lot, I mean like 10 people personally, because there is only 10 of us. Whereas if I was in a bigger class with like 50 people, I might only get to know 2 or 3 people personally because it is just really hard for everyone to have a chance to talk to everyone when there are more and more people. And that's the same case here. I am able to get to know basically all of my classmates in my class because there are only like 12 of us. I like that it is really small and really personal. Like, we had a class the other day, like a supplementary class, a not obligatory class with just 5 people. And it was so great because the professor was able to cater the lesson to each of us. And I just love that so much. And I love that I am less afraid to talk and make jokes and laugh and be real in a class with very few people. I'm going to miss it, and I don't want to leave. It just reminds me of all of my experiences with community that I really value, and none of which are on paper, I guess, very successful to society. For example, today, oh no, yesterday in my conversation workshop, we had to do a presentation on topic that we got to choose, and I chose to do the topic on my time in outdoor ed, which is kind of the same. Like, we were a class of maybe 20 people, and we were all just camping and forced to be together and work together, while whether that's cooking or hiking or just talking and singing by the fire. And it was so great. Like, that is my favorite memory from high school. I have done a lot of quote unquote successful things in high school, but my hardship with those 20 people and feeling like a whole, a community with those 20 people is the memory that I cherish the most. At my Peru trip, my 1 week Peru pre departure trip in an Amish camp, there wasn't any religion, to be honest. Maybe a little bit in the syllabus. There were no like Amish leaders. It was just us, the class, and the prof. And I really value that because the lessons were small, they were personal, they made sure that everyone was on the same page, and it was so open minded, and we were able to have discussions with different opinions. There was a level of respect that I search for, that I know can be achieved in a small group of people that share the same values. Not exactly very specific values, but kind of the values of, oh, we're here to learn, we're here to have new experiences, and we're here to try. I want to experience more experiences like this, where the people who choose to be here are people that I want to be around, are people that are positive. Because I think only people, not only people, but the majority of people who choose to be away from their family, who choose to be in a new place, who choose to have an experience that might be uncomfortable, are people with an open mind, are people that are willing to try, are people that are positive, and they are just the kind of people that I want to surround myself with and build a community with. I don't know why I have this feeling that is not really um not that it's not achievable, but it's really hard to achieve that in the big city where I live in Toronto, because everyone is just really busy all of the time. I am busy too. When I'm back in Toronto, like I'm working every single day. The commute is like 3 hours long in total, which is crazy. And it's just work, work, work all the time because it is so expensive to live in a big city. But I also love living in a big city because there are so many people, so the chances of meeting people that you click with are way higher. And the chances of just meeting new people, which I value a lot, are also way, way, way higher. It is basically every single day. I don't know, like I like the life of being busy because there is always a very clear objective of what I'm gonna do for that day. But when I'm looking back in the past 3 or 5 or however many years, I do not achieve that much. Like maybe I graduated school, which is like one thing, or maybe I worked at 3 companies, which is one thing to me because I'm working. It's just a little bit of a crisis because I'm thinking about how do I balance my life of making that money to live in a city or suburban area that I like, but also have opportunities like this where I'm able to meet new people and be in a community that I really value with people that have the same values as me. And I know that I'm still young. Like, my friends are literally 10 years older than me, and they tell me that, oh my gosh, you're 21, you do not have to worry about life, you have so much time. And I agree. But I don't want to wait to find the answers. Like, I want to actively search for how to find the answers. And right now, I think I'm doing a good job by taking every single opportunity because, again, it is so easy as a student to have these opportunities because there are just so many opportunities for a student, which is another thing that I was talking about with my friends, that I do not want to graduate. And every single year, I delay my graduation again, and I delay my graduation another time, and again, and again, and again. But for example, this semester I'm doing this immersion program for 5 weeks, so I'm not taking school. I'm working, and I want to do this immersion program again the next year. So I might take that semester off because at this immersion program there's also this opportunity to extend for 3 more weeks. So I'm basically here for 2 months to work for 3 weeks and kind of improve on your French. And apparently at St. Anne, all of your amenities, for example, your housing, I don't know about food, but transportation and housing is free, where other people were saying that at other immersion programs in other provinces, you have to find your own place to live and find transportation, which is not for me. That is another reason why I want to come back the next year. And, like I'll probably stay here for 2 months and then do summer camp. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to say that everything feels so personal here. The reason why I'm cold is because I lent my jacket, my windbreaker, and my down vest jacket to my friend because she did not pack a thick jacket, and it is so windy here. And I kind of love that. I am happy suffering for a little bit to record this podcast in the cold because it feels so personal and so welcoming to lend my personal jacket to my friend who needs it. You know, it's that kind of connection that I crave. And also, my neighbor, she's great. I love her. She celebrates Pride and I celebrate Pride. And I just love that we kind of have that mutual understanding and value. And the other day, her and I and my other friend who left the day before and two other friends, we swam, quote unquote swam. We kind of just dipped our legs into the water. It was cold and it was uncomfortable because of the rocks, but it was such a good memory. Like, it feels like a core memory and activity to do while I'm here is to swim, quote unquote, in the ocean. And it's just things like that. Like yesterday when my friend was leaving, a group of us were just waiting with her for the TriStar, which is kind of like the cab or the taxi here. And it just felt so personal. Like, she gave me her Tide Pods that she did not finish. And I love that we just share physical objects, but we also share memories and we share time together. And it just feels so personal and so much of value. Like, I find so much value in lending my personal jacket to my friend. I find so much value in a group of us waiting for the cab with her. It feels so personal to have a neighbor that I can say good night to and walk back to my residence with. And every time I hear her open the door, and if there's an activity that I want to invite her to, like, I can just open my door and knock on her door or like catch her before she goes inside, and it's great. I'm excited to end my contract on Friday where we can finally speak English. I hear that people do not sleep because it is their one opportunity at night to talk to other friends in English, unless of a language barrier. Oh, yesterday I learned to play Yahtzee, which is another experience that feels so personal to me. One of my favorite activities are board game nights with Luke. And then we kind of extended that into my friend's residence by playing Yahtzee. And it's so easy to play Yahtzee. You just need like 5 dice, I think. I learned to play Yahtzee with my prof and my friend and my other friend, and it's great. Like, I was talking to my friends, like, oh my gosh, my favorites are Yahtzee, Jeopardy, board game nights, and trivia. I am literally a boomer. It's funny because like a few hours before that, my friend asked me if I was sure I was not a millennial, and I just feel like maybe because my mindset and the things I like are of a older generation, I enjoy hanging out with that generation. It's just great. Like, everything just feels so meaningful here. We have so much pure connection. Like, I think all of us are genuinely happy and genuinely love our friends and love our classes and love the activities. We had this talent show or like a showcase of the music workshop, and one of their songs, which is called Le Bear Song, I am listening to it on repeat. And they sang it twice. First time at a different show, and this is the second time. And when they were singing it, I was literally crying because okay, the thing is, the song is in French and I do not understand the words, but the melody and the way that it was sang is just so emotional. And now that I'm thinking about it, I feel that kind of like tingly feeling in my nose and I'm about to cry. It's just things like that that I really value, and I am really gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the sense of, everything being so personal and being so close. Another personal experience is me joining the community Zumba class and the community workout classes. Like, I don't know if it's for students because there are English and not songs, but I was just kind of thinking like, oh, if I get caught, I'm gonna play dumb and be like, I don't know, I just want to exercise. But I joined the community Zumba classes because why not? Like, I love Zumba, it's great. And there was only like one other man, and I was like, there is no harm in me doing this because the class is going on anyways, so like, what's the difference if I join or not? And the instructor was so nice, and she was asking me where I was from and how I like immersion experience, and she was like, oh my gosh, you're not gonna be here for the next class, and it's really devastating. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm devastated too because it's just so cute that the three of us are dancing in this big gymnase with Zumba music and just doing squats and like dancing cha-chas. It's great. And in the workout classes, like, one of the instructors came over and was like, oh, you can watch me for the workout to help, because I was at the back of the class again. There were a lot of people in that workout class, and we talked a bit and it was great. And she was like, I didn't have a mat, and she was saying like, oh, you can grab a mat from upstairs, and I didn't know that we could transport those mats. I thought that they had to stay in like the upstairs cardio room. But she was like, yeah, you can use that mat and you can continue with exercises, because usually I leave when they start to do exercise on the mat because I don't have a mat and the floor is really hard for my knees and elbows and is not great. But that day I was able to stay and participate because I took a mat from upstairs and it was great. And I talked to the other instructor and she was like, oh, like, are you able to be here because there are English words in the songs and the workout songs, like countdown? And I'm like, this is one English word. It was like literally my last class. I was not going back because I just did not have the time. Like usually the classes are at 5:15 and dinner starts at 5 and I'm eating for like 30 minutes. So timing's just not great. She was saying like, oh, like, do you have permission to be here? And I was like, I don't know, because I don't ask anybody. I'm just kind of here. Like I just want to exercise. And she was like, oh, don't worry, I won't tell anybody. And I was like, thank you so much. It's just great to go to the gym and say hi to people that I don't personally talk to, but we know each other because we're just in the immersion program. Like we know we're both in the immersion program. Everything just feels so personal, and I love it. Like I'm able to say hi to everyone that's walking back to my residence because my residence is so far, so it's very obvious when people live at my residence and are walking back. Even though I don't personally talk to them, it's just nice to be able to say hi to every single person. I'm gonna miss it, and I'm gonna miss my freedom too. But I'm gonna miss my prof, my classmates, and the activities because there are activities every single day, and it is great, keeps me occupied. And I'm gonna miss the picnics and the weather and the scent. Like, there is a very clear scent of ocean here that I love, and I just love something about birds. Something about watching the birds fly and seeing their wingspan is magical, and watching the waves. Like I was talking to my friend, she loves turtles, and I love that she loves turtles. And I was saying that I love the ocean so much. Like I don't know what it is, maybe because I study water science, so it's a little bit more personal. But water science I study is not even about the ocean, it's about groundwater. But I just love the ocean. I love big things that seem kind of unknown, and I think the ocean is that for me. It's just big and vast and we don't know what's in the ocean, but it's so magical. Like the waves are controlled by the moon, and there's something spiritual about that. Like I know it's science, but to me it's a little spiritual. It's so calming and so nice to see the change of the ocean because it's different every single day and it's different throughout the day. Even now I think it's a little far, but later on in the evening it might be a little bit more close. I just love that, and I don't want to leave. Also, my new favorite thing that I found out is that I really like walking on the track. In the beginning, I used to walk in the little forest, and then I used to walk by the beach. But then I started walking on track, and I was like, wait a minute, why do I kind of love it? And I didn't expect that because I thought that I would be like a nature girly through and through. But I think over time, I kind of just get a little bit tired. Like my ankles don't feel that great if I'm walking on these rocks every day, and the path in the forest are also rocks. But the track, it's great for my knees, it's great for my ankles. Same elevation, very consistent. I can just walk forever because it's a circle and circles never end. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back, take a little nap, take a little shower, show you the swing because I live the swing. And yeah. Oh, my butt hurts because this rock is so hard. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here we are. This is a swing, and it looks at the ocean that you can't really see right now because it's kind of foggy. I'll probably come back a different day to show you, but I'm going to show you how this one works. I hope no one is here because I'm talking English, and that is forbidden. So, I always read this. Don't really know if I fully believe it, but it is there. Okay, I'm gonna swing. There's this rope that you hold on to kind of swing yourself. I don't know if you can see it. There's a rope. I sit on a swing. Okay. And I use this rope to kind of swing myself. Just pull and let go. Pull and let go. It's really relaxing, and some mornings I would just kind of sit here and swing on the swing and watch the water and watch the sky because the sky is also really beautiful with the clouds. Today, not so much because it's just fog. But I like the sound of the waves, and I like watching the birds. This makes me feel so nostalgic even though I'm still here. I remember my friend asked if I wanted to visit here because this place is really close to my residence because she's never been on the swing. And I was like kind of shocked that she has never been like really at the beach at all. And we kind of just talked for like an hour on the swing, swinging back and forth and watching the water. And it's great. It feels really personal, and I really love that. There's also a lighthouse that I really like. Apparently, you can go in it at night. I haven't been in it, and I want to, but I don't know. Like, do people just open up the house, and is there just someone in the house? Okay, I'll show you the lighthouse now. Go the road. Okay, I love watching the birds because the crows are black and the mist, like the fog, is white, so they're very, very apparent. Okay, okay, onto the lighthouse. Okay, I feel like today's not a great day because there is so much fog, but basically, that's the lighthouse. There's the water, and that little blue thing is a swing and more water, but you can't tell because of the fog. Okay, maybe this is better. This is the lighthouse. That's the ocean, kind of. That blue house is a swing. More ocean. If you continue on that way, there's like a gazebo, and then the trail for the forest starts, which I used to walk like this path every single day. And the trail ends at the there's windmills too, but I've never seen them work. The trail ends at the oh my gosh, I know the word in French, piste. I just watched someone drive away in their car, so hopefully they did not hear me speak English. But the trail ends at the track. That's the word. At the track, and then I just walk back to my residence. So here I am walking back to my residence. It's so cold, but it's very calming because there's literally no one here, especially because it's so foggy today. Yeah.
Where's the sun?
Don't get my lighting.